Hello students, in previous lecture we have completed the topic transition elements and inner transition elements. You have studied about the states of matters. The topic, the states of matter. All of you studied that every matter, it is in three states. That means it may be solid, liquid or gaseous. Actually, there are five states are there: solid state, liquid state and gaseous state. These are generally observed, and two more states of matters are there, that is plasma state and Bose-Einstein state. Bose-Einstein state. That is, see here, there are five states of matters. Out of this, we generally found the three states in the nature, that is solid, liquid or gaseous. All of you studied about that every matter, the matter or the substance, matter or the substance which is made up of atom or it is made up of molecules or it is made up of ions, and ions may be cation or anion or both. Then see here, when the substance is which is elemental form, for example, that is copper, gold, silver, then those elements which is made up of atoms, that means their basic constituent is atoms. That means the substance which in elemental form, the basic constituent is atoms. If the substance which is molecular form, for example, molecular form, then those substance, the basic constituent of those substance is molecule. For example, molecule. Then example, methane, benzoic acid or ice. See here, those are the substance which are in molecular form, of which basic constituent is molecule. And there are few substances which are ionic substance, ionic compounds are there. That means these are in ionic form. Therefore, their basic constituent is ions, and those ions, it may be cations or anions or both. Then see here, that means the basic constituent of any matter, it may be atoms or molecules or ions. Then see here, we are going to discuss about the states of that matters. Then generally matters are found in solid, liquid or gaseous state. All of you studied about that. The matters at room temperature, it found in a particular state. For example, water, that is H2O, which is found in liquid state at room temperature. At room temperature, it is found in liquid state. But when we heat water, it converted into vapors. That means those vapors are, see here, those vapors are in gaseous state. These are in gaseous state, then we can convert liquid water into gaseous vapors, as well as if water get condensed on cooling, that means on condensation, water can be converted into ice, and ice of which state is solid. That means, see here, we can convert the matter into all three states. On heating or on by cooling, they can be interchanged into their states. That means water found in solid state, that is ice form, water that is in liquid form, and water vapors that are in gaseous form. Similarly, carbon dioxide which is found in the nature in gaseous state, CO2, that is which is found in gaseous state. If we use the pressure on the molecules of carbon dioxide, on giving pressure, high pressure is given on the molecules of carbon dioxide, it can be converted into liquid CO2, that is liquid carbon dioxide. And if the pressure is given further, then that because of high pressure, it can be converted into solid CO2, and that solid CO2 is also known as dry ice. It is known as dry ice, which is in solid form. That means, see here, the liquid CO2 can be also converted it into gaseous as well as in liquid state as well as in solid state. Then generally, see here, the matters are found in different states at room temperature, and these are interconverting on by giving pressure on it or by releasing pressure from it. For example, solid CO2 from which if pressure is released, then it can be converted into liquid CO2, and again pressure is removed from liquid CO2 molecules, it can be converted into gaseous CO2 molecules. That means those states are interconvergence that you have already studied in previous standard. Then see here, first all of you studied about the solids. Generally, the molecules or atoms or ions of solids, these are closely packed. That means they are compactly packed in the metals. Then in liquid, these molecules, atoms or ions which are loosely packed. There is few distance between molecules of liquid or ions of liquid, or that is particles of liquids. In gaseous state, those molecules are randomly moves. That means those are free to move. Then see here the few properties, general properties related with the solid, liquid and gaseous state, which is useful to distinguish between solid, liquid and gases. Then see here, first of all, that is solid, that is which having definite size and shape. Liquids which does not have definite size and shape, as well as gases that does not possess the definite shapes and size. That is one of the distinguished point between solid, liquid and gases. Then that solid has definite volume. Definite volume, that means you can measure the solid substance in gram or kilogram, isn't it? 1 gram copper, 1 kilogram sugar. That means they have definite volume. As well as you can measure the volume of liquid also. 1 liter kerosene, 2 liter petrol, etc. That means they have also definite volume. And gases which does not have definite volume, because suppose there are 4 CO2 gases molecule, carbon dioxide molecule. If it is kept in a container and that container has volume 1 liter container, then those 4 molecules of CO2 possesses the volume of that container. If those 4 molecules of CO2 it is kept in the room, then it possesses the volume of that room. That means the gases do not have definite volume. Then one more property we have to distinguish between those 3 steps, that is solids have high density, they have high density, and liquids have low density. It is less than solids and it is greater than gases. And the gases which have nearly negligible density, that means they have least density. Then one more property, that is, see here, solids are non-compressible, that means they are rigid, and they are non-compressible. Few examples of solids are there which are compressible, that is sponge. See here, sponge we can compress it, but that means they are rigid and generally they are non-compressible. Liquids are less compressible. They are less compressible because here the molecular space is there, intermolecular space is there. If we give the pressure on liquid, they can compress. That means molecules of liquid comes closer. Therefore, they are less compressible. And the gases in which intermolecular space is higher. Therefore, when we give pressure on gas, they can compress easily. That means they are more compressible or highly compressible. They are highly compressible. That means these are the few general properties which is related with the solid state, liquid state as well as gaseous state. Then see here the intermolecular distance. All of you have studied about that. Intermolecular distance means between the space between molecule and molecule. That intermolecular distance between solid is very least. That means molecular distance is very less, or it is least. And here in liquid, intermolecular space is more than solid and less than gases. And here gaseous molecules are randomly moved, therefore intermolecular space is higher. Intermolecular space is greater. That means they can randomly move. They are free to move. Here, one more property, that is, as intermolecular distance is less, therefore Attraction between molecule, that is called as intermolecular interaction. Intermolecular interaction or intermolecular attraction. Molecular attraction is highest, that is greatest. Therefore, they are closely packed. The attraction between molecule and molecule is greatest. Therefore, they are closely packed. And here in liquid, the intermolecular interaction is less. See here, intermolecular attraction is less than solid and it is greater than gases. See here, in gaseous state, intermolecular interaction or attraction is least. Intermolecular attraction is least. Therefore, their density is very less. That is about the few distinguished points between solid, liquid and gaseous state that you have already studied in previous standards. Then today we are going to study about the properties which is related with the solid states. Then see here, generally there are different types of solids are there. That is here solids, it may be crystalline solids or it may be amorphous solid. Then see here, by taking few examples of crystalline solid or amorphous solid, we can distinguish between crystalline solids and amorphous solid. Then we can identify the properties of the crystalline solids as well as amorphous solids. Then see here, for example, crystalline solids, generally that examples of crystalline solid is NaCl, common salt, which is in crystalline form, sugar, which is in crystalline form, as well as sodium metals or ice. That are the few examples of crystalline solids, as well as amorphous solid. For example, glass is a amorphous solid. See here, glass, when we break, then we feel the sharp edges of that glass, and generally we can found that glass is like the crystalline substance, but glass is not the crystalline substance, it is a amorphous substance, because glass when heated it becomes smooth. Therefore it is an amorphous solid. Rubber is an amorphous solid. Glass, rubber, tar are the few examples of amorphous solid. Generally calcium carbonate, that is chalk, talcum powder, that is boric powder are the few examples of amorphous solids. Then see here, those amorphous solids which we found the smooth, that is the chalk powder, which we feel the smooth to touch, as well as flour, wheat flour, jawar flour are also amorphous in nature. Coke, the powder of coke, charcoal are also amorphous in nature, as well as talcum powder, Pond's powder, face powder. These are the examples of amorphous solids. as well as glass, rubber, tar. These are the also examples of amorphous solids. Then see here, we can distinguish between those crystalline solids as well as amorphous solids. See here, the crystalline substances which having the sharp edges, we feel the edges of those substances are sharp. For example, sugar, common salt, they have the sharp edges. Then second one, that is, see here, the crystalline solids of which their arrangement of the particles, particles are generally, it may be atom or molecules, or it may be ions. That means arrangement of those particles or atoms or molecules or ions, that arrangement is regular. There is regularity in the arrangement of particles of the crystalline substances. That means there are orderness in arrangement of particles in the crystalline substances. Then see here, those crystalline substances have regularity in their arrangements. That means there is a particular orderness in their arrangement of the particles. It may be molecule, atoms or ions, and that you have observed in the figure. See here, one more property of crystalline substances, that is they have sharp melting point. Sharp melting point means they have definite melting point. That means they melt at a particular, at a specific, that is definite temperature. That means, for example, naphthalene which having 80 degree Celsius melting point. That means naphthalene melts at exactly about 80 degree Celsius. Then one more property of crystalline substance, that they are soluble in water. Generally they are soluble in water. Sugar, common salt or other few salts which are crystalline in nature, it is easily soluble in water. And here one more property of that crystalline substances, that is crystalline substances are anisotropic in nature. Anisotropic means, see here, generally the anisotropy, this property can be explained with the help of diagram. See here, in the diagram, it is a regular arrangement of the one of the crystalline substance, and here suppose the basic constituent of that crystalline substance is ions, then those ions are alternately arranged here, that is cations and anions, which are arranged alternately in the diagrams. In the figure there are two types of circles are there, and those spheres or dots or circles are nothing but these are the basic constituent of that crystalline substance. Suppose the given crystalline substance is ionic in nature, then those spheres or dots are of cations or it may be anions. Then see here, the smaller dot, that is bluish color, which is shown here, that is, it is of cations, and the larger circle dot which is of anions, and these are arranged in a specific pattern in this crystalline substance. The crystalline substances which having few measurable properties is like refractive index. Refractive index, all of you have studied about that in 10th standard. Refractive index or electrical conductivity. Electrical conductivity. Conductivity. That type of few measurable properties, when these properties measured in the direction of, see here given in the direction of AB direction. See here, if the refractive index or electrical conductivity like few properties of crystalline substance is measured in the direction of AB, then there is an arrangement of the particles is different. In the direction of AB, there are only anions are there. See here, in the direction of AB, only anions are there. Then, when this property is measured in the direction of CD, see here, when it is measured in the direction of CD, then there are only, see here, cations are there. And when it is measured in EF direction, then there are arrangement of those particles are alternate, cation, anion, cation, anion. That means here the arrangement of those particles is different in those three different directions. Therefore, these properties of the same substance changes with direction. That means, for example, if refractive index we have to calculate of that crystalline substance, and that refractive index when measured in AB direction, it is different when it is measured in CD direction and it is measured in EF direction, because here arrangement of the particles is different in different direction. Similarly, if electrical conductivity of that crystalline substance is measured in AB direction, is different than when it is measured in CD direction, or it is measured in EF direction. It is different, it is measured in different directions. That property of that crystalline substance is known as anisotropy property of that. That means only crystalline substance shows anisotropy. Then see here, we have to discuss about the property of amorphous substance. Then we will be discussing on the one of the type, that is amorphous solids. For example, the examples of amorphous solids are nothing but plastic, tar, rubber, glass, etc. See here, amorphous solid which is found smooth in nature. That means they found smooth to touch. Then when it is heated, amorphous solid becomes smooth. See here, those amorphous solid in which basic constituent, it may be atom, molecule or ions, and those basic constituent, the arrangement of particles in the amorphous solid, it may be ions, or it may be atoms, or it may be molecules. That arrangement is not regular. Not regularity is there. That means there is not the perfect orderness in their arrangement of the particles. Then one more property of amorphous solid, that is, that does not have definite melting point. That means they melts over a range of temperature. For example, if the melting point of glass is 50 degrees Celsius, then it starts to melt from 40 degree to 55 degree. That means here they does not have a definite melting point. Then one more property, they are generally insoluble in water. Insoluble in water. Then see here the chalk powder or coke powder, charcoal powders are insoluble in water. Then one more property, that is the amorphous substances. Those are isotropic in nature. Isotropic in nature. And they are not anisotropic in nature. That means as they are isotropic in nature, therefore this property, that means as according to this property, see here the arrangement of the particles in the amorphous substance are not regular, or there is no any regularity in the particles. Therefore here when the refractive index or electrical conductivity like properties, when it is measured in the different direction, it is same. That means they are isotropic in nature. According to this property, when refractive index or electrical conductivity like properties, when measured of amorphous substance, it is measured in all direction. That is the property of amorphous solid. That is amorphous solids are isotropic in nature. Then few more properties which is related with the crystalline solids, we will discuss about that later. Thank you.